Big government is not stimulus. Don't turn America into another France. President Obama and many other politicians want to expand the burden of government and make America more like France. Big government spending does not lead to improved economic growth. Socialism doesn't work.com.
I've been looking at these sites you're posting, and they are just nonsense. Try to use some critical thinking.
In a television interview for Thames TV this week on February 5, 1976, Margaret Thatcher said, "And socialist governments traditionally do make a financial mess. They, socialists, always run out of other people's money. It's quite a characteristic of them."
What the fuck are you all about? What do you think is going on here? After 8 miserable years of George Bush that nearly destroyed this country, Obama is slowly putting things right again. If you had half a brain and had spent any time in Europe, you'd understand how incredibly screwed up things are here and how nice they are in those democratic socialist countries. It's the corporations that are taking down this country, not the government. Wow.
I'm all about capitalism and liberty. Truth, justice, and the American way. You and your democratic socialist buddies are about government control of every aspect of our lives. As the government grows and the economy shrinks, who do you expect to pay for all that government largesse? Perhaps you thought that, because I never commented on your Marxist ravings 40 years ago, that I actually agreed with you. I never did. The fact that you still believe all that Marxist rhetoric and can't see the failures of socialism suggests that you haven't learned anything in the last 40 years. Try reading a book that wasn't written by a Marxist. You may have been miserable during the Bush years, but I think that's largely because of what is in you, not him. I wasn't miserable, nor were any of my friends. Germany and France elected conservative leaders. Sweden has come to realize that its socialist economics were unworkable. Exactly what European countries did you live in long enough to have a long-term job and pay taxes?
If you had ever been to France, you'd understand how provincial and myopic your position is. They have a much better quality of life than we do. You should check it out, rather than just drinking the tea.
Did you live there? Did you work there? Did you pay taxes there? Myopic is believing socialism works.
Yes, I have lived in France. The Europeans do spend more money on social programs than we do, and they get great results. Everything from universal child care to tuition-free higher education. They protect people's rights. Have totally free medical care. Doctors even make house calls. They have special benefits for single parents to make sure kids are growing up with what they need. Every worker gets 6 weeks of paid vacation. They have great maternity leave. That too. I don't mind paying taxes for services that make the quality of life worthwhile. I'm totally serious when I tell you to stop and think. Go there and see for yourself. I've been all over the world, and the countries that have democratic socialism are the best. You sound like an uneducated idiot.
Can't get beyond name-calling? If my recollection of any conversations we had in the early 70s is any indication, you have never been open to any views that differ from your own. Calls to mind a line from a Paul Newman film. You have a way of starting conversations that ends conversation. I have no reason to go to France if I'm only going to talk to socialists. There are ample socialists here. France is an economic disaster. Nor do I have any great urge to visit a country where angry Muslim youth set fire to automobiles almost daily. I don't speak French. I wouldn't be able to find work. I couldn't do the things that I enjoy in life. Why would I truck everything that I have now to see if you are correct, especially when I know that you are not? Socialism is like a religion. You have your sacred texts and high priests. You have blind faith in their pronouncements, regardless of evidence to the contrary. Getting a socialist to see the fallacies of socialism isn't much different from trying to convince a Jehovah's Witness that you don't need to read the Watchtower to be saved. You post from your iPhone. Was that invented in a socialist country? Can you name 5 world-changing, paradigm-shifting inventions that were created under socialism? Can you name one? Of course not. There is no incentive to achieve under socialism, and France is a prime example. Your diatribes against corporations go back to Marx. Corporations are not villains. Do you own stock? Have the 401k, IRA, life insurance? In what are they invested? Corporations are owned by the stockholders. Who are the stockholders? Sure, some rich guys. and people like my 92-year-old aunt, who worked for one company for over 50 years, saving and investing, so that she could live off stock dividends in her declining years. Without corporations, she'd be on welfare. And Obamacare would decide her quality of life isn't contributing to society, so they'd tell her to go home, take some pain pills, and wait to die. That's typical socialist compassion. The problems with the economy have been primarily caused by government, and primarily Democrats, starting with the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. The problem is government, and too much of it. You are not part of the solution. If you work in a bureaucracy, you are the problem.